So I have a confession. I also haven't showered since I've been here. That's going to be my takeaway from all this, is to live dirty. I love that. It's sexy. On my motto of my website, it says live different, and when I go home, I'm going to change that shit right away to live dirty. You know what's scary isn't this public speaking, it's that giant camera crane. I think with that and this ripped up fence, you kind of feel like you're in Transformers The Talk. It's weird. Actually, it's the makeup. You know, when you go through hair and makeup, you're actually signing a silent contract that says, we are now officially investing in you. Don't fuck up. So, I got that. Jason, I'm sorry, I'm a little unpolished. That's just how I roll. I forgot to give you that email. I was doing my digital detox, so I was just... my name is John Kim. I'm one of 5,623 John Kims in the greater Los Angeles area. And my friends call me John Kim, one word, because it makes me feel special. It turns me black among the white sheep, or yellow, I guess in my case. On paper, I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. Online, I've kind of accidentally, although I don't believe in accidents, become the anti-therapist because I'm not interested in anything conventional. But today, I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm going to talk about my other passion, motorcycles. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about CrossFit. So why CrossFit? Why now? I want to say one thing real quick before I begin. Each and every one of you either have or is on the path of making a huge dent in this universe, and I really mean that because I've been talking to a lot of you guys, and I really feel honored to be a part of this dialogue, a part of this space. I've learned so much, and it's been 92 octane for me to go home and get re-inspired and get back on that typewriter. I feel like the kid that hopped the fence to get into the party that he wasn't invited to, you know, so thank you for that. So in high school, I played football. I didn't really play, I was on the team. I was the guy, 10 seconds left in the game, and the coach would say, get John Kim in there, 2 words, not one, because the coach was not my friend. And as I'm running on the field, the buzzer would ring and the game would be over. Nothing worse than that slow jog back off the field when you almost played, which has been kind of like the theme of my life. I did make one tackle in my 4 years of football, and I remember grabbing the guy's face mask and thinking, if I let go, I'm gonna have no social life. And I held on, and I wrapped around him like a human tether ball, and he came down, and the coach stamped that as a Korean finger tackle. So that was like my claim to fame. That was my athletic history. Fast forward 20 years later, and I'm going through a divorce, and I'm feeling sorry for myself in this frozen yogurt shop. And this is a depressing story. It's funny how frozen yogurt is now the I feel sorry for myself food. It used to be ice cream. Ice cream is now the I hate myself food. But right next door, there was this adult playground. And I don't mean a porn shop. It was like gymnastic rings, monkey bars, these weird boxes that you jump on. And at that time in my life, I was looking for something different. I was looking for something dangerous. That's what you do when you go through a divorce. You seek danger. That's why we buy motorcycles, actually. But it was called CrossFit. And this was about 5.5 years ago. And no one knew what CrossFit was. And what was exciting about it was very fight clubby. It was very underground. People were doing it in their garages. And I wanted to be a part of this. It felt like a movement. And I joined. Now, I know that CrossFit's controversial, and I know that there's some people getting hurt. And, you know, going back to motorcycles, it's like you hear all the stories, and then it makes you afraid. And I'm just going to tell you what CrossFit did for me, and you guys, I encourage you to check it out on your own without listening to all the stuff that's going on, because it's exploding right now. CrossFit gave me 4 things. So the first thing CrossFit gave me was a sense of belonging. So at the heart of CrossFit is community. And the way that these WODs are designed, they're called workout of the days. Every workout feels like a near life or death experience. And I know that sounds intimidating, but the value in that is that when you do that with 14 other people 4 times a week, it produces a really strong glue if you have a healthy mindset. And on top of that, you have paleo potluck parties and events and clinics, and suddenly you have a safe container, what I call a safe container. And in any safe container, there's growth. So this weekend is a giant safe container, and through all our stories, we're going to grow, right? So CrossFit gives you that. It gives you a tribe almost instantly. The second thing CrossFit gave me was a chance to get back on the field again. In my case, this time actually play. I think that whether you play t-ball or you're doing an Ironman or someone plays golf professionally, I think here, ran track, whatever, I think as we grow up, life happens, and we are disconnected from our inner athlete. So what CrossFit does is it reconnects you with that part of yourself. And if you, like me, weren't really an athlete, then it introduces yourself to that piece of yourself. And it gives you a cape, and that is really empowering. So CrossFit also is the only sport in the world with an online, worldwide competition where you could play with the pros. And it knocks down that wall, which I think is brilliant. And there's also competitions within boxes. Now there's different leagues. There's scaled versions of competitions. There's for beginners. There's the workout in itself is a micro competition. And if you're competing with yourself, it really tugs on the inner athlete in you. So it gives you that. The third thing CrossFit gave me was a set of new definitions. So I was the guy that used to go into the gym and do the isolated bicep curls and bench press, and I hated doing legs. I looked like a pigeon, basically. So CrossFit made me proportional, you know? And CrossFit, it's not about aesthetics, it's about performance in the sense of functional movement and being able to move your body in ways that we were meant to. And the aesthetics part, that just kind of, that's gravy, it comes with it. But it gave me new definitions, not only that, but with the standards of CrossFit, in the sense it's one of the only sports where if you come in last, you're cheered on more than if you come in first. The person that wins goes back, and they support the people that are, coming after them. And the process of it gives you new definitions. Like when I was talking about my jog off the football field as a bench warmer, if you don't hold up to your standards, and if you don't make yourself accountable, and if you're not honest with yourself, that drive home from the box is exactly like the walk off that field. And so because of the way that it's designed, it gives you new definitions on what it means to be an athlete. And I've realized that it's less about performance and more about character. Out of the 10 million plus CrossFitters, or people doing some form of CrossFit, 60% are women. So CrossFit is redefining what body image and what beauty looks like. And because of CrossFit, strong has become the new skinny. CrossFit's the only space in the world where you could call a woman a beast, and they're like, thank you. It's a compliment. The last thing CrossFit gave me was, and if you're looking for one it could give you, is a rebirth. I tell people that I didn't find CrossFit, that CrossFit found me. Actually, I've never said that to anyone, because who talks like that? CrossFit found me. But I do believe it. I do believe it in the sense that CrossFit came into my life like right when I needed all of those things. And I think the reason why it's exploding is other people are having that experience. It's falling into their lap when they're looking for a rebirth, a reboot, some kind of change. And in that way, CrossFit is a huge tool. So I also believe that whatever you face in the box, whether it's your fears, the way you think, the way you socialize, is a direct reflection of what you face outside the box. And if that's the case, then could you use CrossFit as a therapeutic tool to rewire yourself? And the answer is yes, that's what I did. So when you have new definitions, and you have your tribe, and you have all the social events surrounding this, and you put that in a safe container, it's a perfect recipe for a rebirth. So that's why CrossFit, why now is the other part of this. And by the way, no one's drinking the water here. I don't know why. I think I'm the first one that actually is tapping into this. Just for display. Why now? Because I don't think fitness is about fitness anymore. I think fitness is a lifestyle, because if you're working out to look different, it's going to be short-lived. But if you're working out to live different, you're going to see results. And when you see results, you're going to be motivated. When you're motivated, you're going to see results. And that process is what's going to create secondary change that's not reversible. And all you athletes know this, that fitness is something that is threaded into your life. It's not, the days of going to the gym with the Us Weekly under your arm, I was going to say it's over, but people are laughing, so I think it's going to slowly fade out. But why now? Because we want to go back to the basics. And you know, if you pull a theme from all these speakers today and speeches, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about food, nutrition, medicine, love, or fitness, I think as humans, we've bitten off more than we can chew. And I think that the reason why CrossFit is so popular now, it's going back to the basics, you know, it's functional movement. And I don't think that we're meant to do this alone, you know. I think before fitness was fitness, we were very active with our tribe. So why now? We're thirsty for community in a nutshell, I think, because we want to feel human again. In my business, as a therapist, they say you could throw a quarter and hit an addict. And I say today you could throw a quarter and hit a CrossFit box. They're everywhere. And I would encourage you guys to give it a try. Just say goodbye to your friends because you'll probably never see them again. Thank you.